Let's begin. We're going to start working on the posture by addressing the front of the chest. A lot of times we can't get ourselves back because we're bound by the musculature in the front. So to begin today, I would like to take one of our blocks and either the alpha ball or the standard size ball right underneath the collarbone. So you're going to be outside of the sternum or chest bone and right under the collarbone. And we're going to roll the underboard of the collarbone right out to the shoulder. And like I said, you can use the small one or the larger one. If you're very sensitive, the larger will be more tolerable. And you're going to take the ball right onto your block. And you're going to keep your hips up in the air. And you're just going to lean into the block. And as you breathe, just breathe where the ball and the body meet. And then as you start to become acquainted with that sensation, maybe you sway side to side, getting just a little bit of a rock on that under border of the collarbone. It's very small movements, making sure that you actually stop and breathe into that space. So you can stay here, but I want to show you another option too, since I know a couple of you have the alpha ball. If that position doesn't feel good for the knees and back, you can just take the alpha ball right onto the floor. And you can just lie over the alpha ball on the floor as well, just like this. So choose the variation that suits you as you sweep across that area right under the collarbone, focusing on sending your breath right to the upper ribs. Working your way out from the chest bone out towards the front of the shoulder. Moving mindfully, being really gentle. And then when you're ready, choosing to switch sides. And again, you can stay on your belly if that suits you, if you have the larger alpha ball. But if you have the smaller standard size therapy ball, take the ball to your block. And you're going to keep the hips high and let the chest come down low, letting your head rest over the edge of the block. Breathing into that area in the top few ribs, right underneath the collarbone. Doing a gentle sweep from side to side under the collarbone. Take about 5 more breaths. Gently exploring the upper chest, staying off of the collarbone and staying off of the chest bone, moving through the top 2 or 3 ribs out towards the front of the shoulder, but staying into the chest and breathing into the chest. And then slowly releasing. Remove your block, remove the ball. And then we're gonna come directly into our next roll. So for our next roll, we're gonna get that space between the shoulder blades, one of those techie pain points. So we're gonna take now the balls to the exact opposite spot that we were. So now instead of being in the chest, they're gonna be in the upper back between the shoulder blades. And to get good pressure into this area, this is where I said having a foam roller is nice, or your Coregeous ball is perfect too, if you have that. So take the therapy balls right between the shoulder blades. Find that just right spot. And then take your prop, whether it's the foam or the Coregeous ball, and place it under your hips. Let me scoop these down so they can go right in the way. And now you're getting a little bit more weight to that space between the shoulder blades. Now bring your arms to give yourself a nice big hug. So you really spread that area in the upper back. And now just by bending the knees a little bit, you'll just get a little chug up and down right between the shoulder blades. You can get that movement up and down, or you can just stay still and sustain compression, breathing right into where the balls and the body meet. Maybe you even rock side to side, creating a little rotation. Just creating some space in the upper back and the area between the shoulder blades. As you rock side to side, you might feel the pressure on one side of the spine, then the other. Freeing up this upper rib cage, staying in the rib cage, not coming onto the neck. So taking another few moments to explore by stripping up and down, holding and compressing breathing, or rotating a little side to side, getting the upper cervical spine. The upper thoracic spine, the top upper rib cage, top few ribs. Listening to the sensations of your body, exploring whatever area is calling your attention between the shoulder blades. Find that now. And then slide up a little bit. So the balls are right at the bottom edges of the shoulder blades. And now take the prop out from underneath your hip. So now your hips are on the floor. And we're actually going to use the pelvis just a little bit here. I'm going to have you tip the pelvis forward and then tip the pelvis back. And you'll feel the balls roll a little bit. As you tip the pelvis back, you flatten the back, get a little bit more pressure. Notice what happens to the head here. See if you can lengthen through the top of the head as well. So let the chin come up, let the hips, the back come up as you tip the hips down towards your heels. And then try to lengthen from both ends. And then feel that arch, and then feel the length. Tailbone goes down, crown of the head goes up. So you're getting a little chin tuck. And we're beginning to stretch the neck right from the root of the neck at the base of the shoulder blades. And activating these front neck muscles for a little stabilization. Do 3 more rounds, tucking the chin, lengthening the head, lengthening the low back, elongating the spine right from center. And then we'll do one more mobilization for the mid-back. Just adjust those therapy balls again, right to that area now, just below the bottom corner of the shoulder blade. And so I'm propped up on them a little bit. So I know a couple of you have a Coregeous ball. You can do the same action with the Coregeous ball if you prefer. I'll show you. But what we're going to do is we're going to arch back, push the elbows into the floor, push the tailbone into the floor, and then now bring the elbows together, round up, trying to mobilize now that upper back between flexion and extension. It might look a little bit like a crunch, but think about more rounding and extending from each segment in the spine. So now moving between both positions, the balls can traverse up or down a little bit. You can stay here. I'll show you what it looks like with the Coregeous ball, which is kind of nice. When you do it with the Coregeous ball, it's a little more breath-centric than like spinal mobility intensive. So that would just look big chest expansion and then compressing, collapsing, emptying through the upper chest. So both are good here. Connecting one breath to movement. One more time. And then let that fall away and come back onto your back for just a minute. And even let the legs straighten out. Rest for a moment. Feeling the upper back rest on the floor. Feeling the shoulder blades drop back. Tucking the chin slightly so the neck is long. And then just breathing into the upper area of the rib cage. And now from here, we're going to turn back to our belly. So bend your knees, turn back to your bellies. We're going to come into two prolonged stretches. These are a little bit more yin yoga style stretches, but they really reinforce the rolling that we just did. So we just did a little rolling, now we'll stretch, and then we'll do a little stabilization to get the shoulder blades working a little bit better there. So now, take your right arm, thread the right arm underneath the left. And then now take the left arm and walk it over so that your elbows are as close to stacking as possible. I should have told you first, maybe grab your block or your Coregeous ball for your head. So if you didn't do that, if that's not in reach, do that now. Put it right in front of you. So right arm threads under the left, left fingers walk out to the side. Your hands can stay on the floor like this, or you can bring your arms and try to wrap them for the outside edges of the shoulder blades. And this is pretty intense. This is a big spreading for the upper back. And from here, try to see if you can let your head rest on something. Maybe your Coregeous ball, maybe a block. Wherever you are, I want you to start to feel the compression through the front of the chest. And then that compression causes the breath to spread or expand into the space between the shoulder blades. This might feel really challenging at first. It might feel a little claustrophobic, so be kind to yourself. Find a position that feels sustainable. If you feel too tightly wrapped with your arms up, you can let them drop towards the floor. If you feel like the elbows are up into the chin a little bit, curl the toes under and toe heel yourself up a little so the elbows come closer to the breasts. So the elbows just slide down a little bit. And then just try to allow yourself to rest here for about a minute. Really focusing on the breath through the upper back. Take 2 more breaths. And then let your hands unfold if they're hugging you. And then slide the right arm out. When you slide the right arm out, you're going to leave it out like a T on the floor. So with your arm like a T on the floor, press the biceps in the front of the arm into the floor. Now take your left hand and push it into the floor in front of the left shoulder. As you push your left hand into the floor, feel how you roll to the right over the right arm. Now take your left leg and kickstand it behind you. So now you're trying to lean back over the right arm. Push the right arm into the floor. Activate the whole right arm so that you feel the muscles in the biceps, the forearm, even the fingers contract. And then let go and relax. And then the left arm, if it feels good, can come up towards the sky and rest on the low back. Opening both shoulders now behind you. Take 3 more breaths. And then release back to your belly. Let your head turn to the right now and let both arms come down by your sides. Take a few breaths. And now come back up towards your forearms. press into the right hand. Let the left arm thread underneath the right. Let the right fingers walk out towards the left. Maybe toe heel your feet a little bit so that the elbows come out of the throat area, right, and then come more into the sternum or the breast area. And then your hands can either hug for the inside edges of the shoulder blades, or they can stay on the floor. And then wherever you are, see if you can let your head relax to a support. Foam roller, block, gorgeous ball. And then find stillness here, focusing on the breath. Breathing into the upper back, that space between the shoulder blades. Taking 3 more breaths. Last breath, maybe breathing in and then exhaling through the mouth and sighing out. And then letting the arms unravel. Letting your left arm come out like a T. Pressing the fingertips and palm into the floor. Take your right hand, press your right hand into the floor under the right shoulder and start to rotate onto your left side. So you're rolling back over the left hand. Now, bend your right knee, giving you a little kickstand, and then press the left arm into the floor. So press the hand, press the biceps, even press the shoulder into the floor. Activate the front of the left arm, and then release, and allow yourself to lean back a little bit more. And now maybe the right arm joins the left by reaching up towards the sky, and then wrapping around the low back, letting your fingertips just graze the earth behind you. Take 3 more breaths. And unravel back towards your belly. Let your head turn to the left. Arms come by your sides. And now, press up towards your hands and knees just for a moment to get set up for the next exercise. I just want to give you a disclaimer that the next exercise you can totally do without the blocks and without the therapy balls. The blocks and therapy balls give you a little bit more mobilization to the front of the shoulders, but this can be done just on the floor as well. So the blocks are going to make a little triangle, probably about 6 inches or so apart. This is going to be where your chest lies. And then you're going to take your standard size therapy balls. And you're going to place your therapy balls right at the top corners of your blocks. And then that's going to rest, those balls are going to rest right in the front of the shoulder. So off the ball of the shoulder, kind of through that little seam in the front of the shoulder. Yeah, out towards the front of the shoulders. So there's right, that area right here. So give this a try. If this is like, it just doesn't feel good, go ahead and just let go of the blocks and the balls because the stabilization is fine and enough on its own. So come to your belly, nestle the blocks and the balls in right to the fronts of the shoulders. Let your arms come by your sides, palms point towards the ceiling. Now, we're going to do 4 different exercises here. The first one is just pinch the shoulder blades together, lift the arms so they're right around your butt height, keeping your elbows straight. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. We'll do that again. Pinch the shoulder blades together, lift the arms, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. I want to give you an option for the head. The forehead can stay grounded or on the earth, or you can pull your chin towards your throat, like you're giving yourself a double chin, and reach the top of your head up away from you. So like someone's pulling you like a puppet from the top of your head. And that will give you a little cervical or neck stabilization as well. So you might want to give that a try in the next one. So if you want to do that, tuck the chin towards the throat, give yourself a double chin, head comes away from the floor, back of the neck is long, and then pinch the shoulder blades together, lift the arms, hold for 5. And then lower down. 2 more times. Pinch the shoulder blades, straight arms, squeeze the back body. Decide if you want to include the cervical stabilization. If there's any pain, any tightness, just keep the neck relaxed. And then release. 1 more time here. Really pinch the shoulder blades together in the middle of the back. Then lift the arms. Make sure you're feeling it in the space between the shoulder blades, not the space in the upper trap area where the neck and the rib cage meet. And then release. Next variation, arms come out like a T. Reposition the balls or the blocks if necessary to find that just right spot in the front of the shoulders. Making sure that you're not in the armpits, that there's no numbness, tingling, radiating pain from the placements of the balls. Now, right here, arms out like a capital T, turn the thumbs up towards the sky, pinch the shoulder blades together, lift the arms. Hold 5 times for 5 counts. And release. You decide whether the head stays supported or the head lifts up. If the head lifts up, the back of the neck stays long for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then down. 2 more times. Oh, I think 3 more times. Pinch the shoulder blades. Thumbs up position. Lift. For 3, 2, 1, and then down. 2 more on your own count. Driving the shoulder blades together, lifting and holding, feeling the burning right between the edges of the shoulder blades. Last time. And release. And now arms come overhead like a Y, like Superman, thumbs reaching up still, arms stretching out overhead. Reposition the balls so they're right in the meaty pec in the front of the shoulder, not on the bone of the shoulder itself, but in the musculature. As we lift the arms, we get a little bit of mobilization to that front musculature, and it also gives us a little more space or a little bit more range to move through. So same thing here, 5 times. Lift and hold for 5 seconds. Lift. It might not come as high here. Feel the bottom corners of the shoulder blades pull down and together for 3, 2, 1, and then down. 4 more times, lifting from the bottom corners of your shoulder blades. Lift. Sorry. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Release. 3 more times. Pinch the bottom corners of the shoulder blades together, drawing them down towards the back pockets of your pants. Then lift the arms up. Hold. And release. 2 more times on your own count for 5. 1 more time, keeping the back of the neck long, pulling down into the middle of the back. Now keep your arms up at the ends of this round. Turn your palms to face the floor. Keep the forearms in line or parallel to the floor and draw the elbows down to your hips and then reach back up to a Y. So reaching from your Y, from your Superman, towards a W, like you're doing a little lat pull down in the air. Squeeze the elbows together behind your back. Reach up, pull down for 5. For 4. For 3. For 2. Last time. And then release. Great work. That's the hard part. So now we'll get to do a couple of really nice things. We'll get to finish up by getting into the upper traps and then the base of the head to finish up today. So balls are going to stay out of the tote, but make sure your tote's nearby for your therapy balls for the last activity. And now come onto your back. Take the balls right at the top of the shoulders. The upper trap is if you want someone to squeeze the shoulders. I'll show you right here. They're slightly apart from one another in that meaty muscular area. And now lie down onto them. You won't feel much when you first lie down. But now find your block or your Gorgeous ball again or your foam roller and elevate the hips. And that's going to bring a little bit more weight or pressure into the upper traps. And you can stay here just as you are. If this feels just right, just allow yourself to be here. If you want to try something else, the arms can come up and rest overhead, kind of like a circle, so one palm rests on top of the other. That's another place you can be. Just arrive. We'll stay here for about a minute and a half. Turn off those upper traps. Let the tension just drop out of the neck and the upper back, right into the floor. Taking about 3 more breaths, sighing it out through your mouth, just totally letting go. And after the next exhale, bring your hands down to the earth. Take the block out. We're gonna stay with this same mobilization, but make it a little bit more active so that we get the hips and the glutes involved to help keep us in this upright position we worked on establishing in the upper back. So now what we'll do is we'll push into our feet so that we lift our hips, and you'll feel that increased pressure, but the activity of the legs. Then bring the arms up overhead as well. Now, roll your back down. Try to get each backbone to touch one segment at a time until your hips are down, and then bring your arms back down. So it's going to be hips lift, arms lift, back rolls down, middle back, lower back, sacrum and tailbone, and then arms come down. Let's do that 5 times. Lift up, arms up, roll down, and arms down. This is one of my favorite. I have lots of favorites, but I really love this one. On your own time, pausing when you finish. Removing your pulse. I have one more. Arms up. Really roll down as slow as you can on the last one. And then completely relax. We just have one more setup. Remove your therapy balls. Take your therapy balls back to your tote. Maybe don't even sit up for this. Maybe just roll over to the side. Place the balls in your tote. And then now we'll position the therapy balls at the base of the head for a nice cradle of the occiput. If you have the standard size balls, you need a block under the head or a book, just so that they stay in place. You could also use a foam roller here if you prefer a foam roller. Or if you have the single alpha ball, you can just take the alpha ball towards the floor. And the alpha ball, here I'll just show you because I know some of you have it. You can take the alpha ball
And just cradle the back of the neck with the alpha ball and kind of push it up into the base of the head. That's a really nice variation. I personally love having the head a little bit elevated on the block with the 2 therapy balls in the tote. But find whatever works for you. Whenever you get there, roll the shoulder blades back, turn the palms up, and then the legs can stay bent. Maybe you bring the soles of your feet together so the knees fall out wide, or maybe you could straighten the legs out. Find whatever leg position feels perfect. You could even cross your feet like you're, sitting cross-legged. Whatever feels good. Find your way there and just completely relax for the next minute or two. And very slowly remove all of the props. Lie flat on your back for a second. Just dropping into the floor. Feeling the heaviness of the body. The softness of the musculature. And the change in your breath. And as you're ready, come and roll towards your side. And we'll meet in sitting. Thank you so much for taking this time out to be with me today. Have a great day and a great weekend.